gamers, welcome to Building Character here at Game Trade Media, where we take, well, today we're going to take Dungeons & Dragons, a role-playing game, and we're going to build a character. That's what we do. We take different role-playing games, a lot of the times it's Dungeons & Dragons, but and we build a character with your help, and we appreciate you guys joining us today, and gals, so that we can make this amazing character that you see on the Tesla spinner down here. Is it Tesla this week? What are we calling it? Elon Musk? Our Elon Musk spinner? So this particular miniature was painted by Dave Taylor from Dave Taylor Miniatures. You might recognize him as my partner in crime on painting Happy Little Minis. While we were at the Alliance Open House this past weekend, he took this WizKids miniature and painted it. So this is the character we're going to be building today, and it should be kind of fun because if you look at this particular dwarf, you're going to see that he or she does not have a beard. So that's usually a big issue in the dwarven community. So we're going to have to throw that into their backstory as to why they may be unshaven or be shaved, unbearded, clean of face. So let's get to it, see who's all there. I'm going to share this real quick into that wonderful group that we all know and love, the Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition.
You especially love.
I do love that group.
Yeah, fun fact, everyone. Dave painted this in like 2 hours.
Was it even that?
Yeah, it was about 2. We were there for a while.
Okay.
But he did a great job.
Yeah, always. Huh. No groups. Wonder if we're having cellular issues again. I don't like it when it does that.
While Rick is looking, everyone come up with a name for this character.
Yeah, but if you guys don't know who that voice is, that's Leona.
Oh, yeah.
She's in the background doing
Hiding in
Leona
the
stuff.
darkness.
Yes, in the darkness.
So yeah, put a name of what you think the dwarf should be named. The beardless dwarf. Oh, shoot.
All right, there you go. I'm letting them know that come and join us in the build today with a dwarf without a beard, which is crazy, right? So, and should we make this one a barbarian? What class? Fighter, barbarian? What are we looking at here? So let us know that. So let's roll out some stats. But you know what? I want to change out this dice tower. I love this dice tower. It's served us well, but we got a new dice tower today. And I'll show it off right here. It is a little scroll case like thing, and you take out this, and we're going to lay that out and put these down here. So you got your little dice tray that comes in here, which is super cool. And there we go. Now, let's do this. Let's flip it over like we're supposed to. There we go. And dice tray. But then you take and you slide this inside that, and the bottom turns, and there's our spout, if you will. How's that look?
It looks good.
All right, so we're going to start rolling dice.
Oh, wow, yeah.
Okay, here
That
we go.
looks great.
I love the design on that.
Yeah, it is pretty slick. It kind of looked a little bit like Doctor Who in the...
Oh, yeah. I can see that.
So, now here we go. Oh, man, it's already locking up. Maybe I think I put the thing in there backwards. I did. I'm the worst. Haha! Science.
I say science again.
All right. See? I'm the worst. All right, here we go. Ta-da! Ooh. Oh. So, 8 is our first roll. That's a tragedy. Our next one is 10. That's also a tragedy. No, it's not. It's not. That's 10 again. Come on, we gotta get one good stat for this guy. Come on, or girl.
Fingers crossed, 17.
Ooh, 17 would be great. Who's all with us today?
Doug White has said hello, and Lee Short has said hello.
Okay, hey,
Also, Katie is watching
nice.
from across the way.
We got a 16. So that's not bad. What were those ones again? Oh, we shouldn't have done that. 8. All right. And our last is 6, 7, 8. So 13. Oof. Oof. That's a tough sell right there. So we have 8, 10, 10, 16, 8, 13 on our stat rolls. And that, like I said, is a tough sell. So it does look like a barbarian. I agree, Lee. So let's do that. Dwarven barbarian. So dwarf. Barbarian. We're going to make him level 3. 3rd level.
Level 3.
Yep. And why? Because then we get to choose a fun path for them. So let's open up the player's handbook to the
Also,
barbarian.
Shane says hello, and Thea is watching as well.
Hey, everybody. Shane. Hope you guys are all doing well. And let's go to the barbarian class. The bard. No. Though we do like our bards. We're going to talk about the barbarian. Cool. So, as a barbarian, you gain the following class features. 1d12 hit dice per level. Points at higher levels. So, yikes. And as a dwarf, what are our racial stats for our dwarf here? Your constitution score is increased by 2. So that's pretty good. And we can actually make this particular dwarf have a high constitution. And that will be I kind of want to take that 16 and make it an 18 and put it in con and then give him a 13 strength. Then everything else is just kind of like, meh. What do you guys think? If you have any input on that, that would be awesome. Anyone? The fun thing, though, is going to be when we get into the backstory as to why this particular dwarf is without a beard. And the whole, like, what did they do? What did you do?
He didn't eat all of his vegetables.
Wow. But yeah, that would be
Oh, shoot.
it. Seems like the interwebs is having some issue. What do you guys think? Are you having some trouble over there? Yes. Seems to be a little laggy today. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to, just for fun's sake, give them an 18 constitution. So that gets rid of the 16, adding the 2. And that's it. So 13 strength. 8 charisma. 8 wisdom. 10 wisdom. 8 intelligence. 10 dexterity. So those are kind of tough sells right there. So we've got our stats. Strength 13, Dex 10, Con 18. So definitely can go forever doing stuff. Intelligence 8, Wisdom 10, Charisma 8. We do need a name, so if y'all could come up with a cool name for this beardless dwarf, that would be awesome. Hey Shane. Yeah, I see you put test in there. So let's go ahead and look at the dwarf again, or the barbarian, and there are some cool stuff here. What? So we're gonna look at rage. So primal paths. We have Path of the Berserker, Path of the Totem Warrior, and I kind of want to go with the Path of the Berserker because I feel like what probably happened is this particular dwarf went berserker and did something really bad and was shamed and had to shave off their beard and is currently on the path of redemption to basically find favor with the dwarven gods and his clan and be allowed to grow their beard back. Like something super heinous, like he was maybe like one of the protectors of a forge in the mountains, and it was overrun, and they went berserk, and because of it, for some reason, the forge fell.
That would be cool.
Yeah, berserker. I like that. Melissa is like, yup. So we're going to do that. Berserker. Path of the Berserker.
Hey, Rick,
Yes.
let me ask you this. Lord of the Rings, I'm sorry, The Hobbit, the films, weren't there dwarves that had no beards?
They probably didn't. Yeah,
No.
yeah. Actually, I feel like there probably was one, maybe two, but they all, even the pretty dwarves that they had in the movie.
Feely and Keely had beards.
But they were like those thin beards. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, granted, this is like Dungeons and Dragons versus Lord of the Rings, so it's really kind of different realms.
It's
Yeah.
way different, man.
But usually in D&D, a dwarf's beard is a sign of like honor in that. So we're gonna definitely make that dwarf did something dishonorable or just failed miserably at some particular task. But we need a name. I see Dylan put No Beard Ben.
Tender Huff.
Tender Huff. Oh, that would almost be being called Tender as a title, but his name is like Huff, like, yeah, I like that.
Lee Short agrees with you that the low stats, maybe he's just a bumbling idiot who was shunned by his homeland for a horrible accident he caused.
Yeah.
So he'd be like the Jar Jar Binks of the Dwarven clan?
Yeah, that could be it. It's just like always tripping over stuff, but maybe he actually has luck, but in his luck this looks like a bumbling idiot. It's like, how have you survived this long? But I like that. Tender Huff, but Tender being a title kind of like within the Dwarven community. Like, you know, you've basically, yeah, because your face is smooth, you're tender. You have, you know, you're not like the grizzled, gruff, older dwarf type of persona as most would be. But let's come up with a nice, like, you know, like Thunderstone or something like that for his Huff. So he actually has like a cool name. And Huff is actually a pretty cool name. I'm trying to think like Huff, Gravel
Puff
Spit.
oh Puff?
Huff oh Puff. No.
Why did I know that you were going to
Nope.
say that? Because the exact same thought just came into my head like a second before you said it.
I want to make him like part of the Huff Gravelgrim clan, or part of that particular order, or House Gravelgrim. He has a cousin named Sledge who's like super awesome, which is true. Sledge is awesome. What do you guys think on that? Giving him the last name Gravelgrim.
Huff Gravelgrim.
What's that?
I like it.
All right.
It works.
I agree. Gravel Grim.
Gravelgram.
All right. And that's with 2 M's.
Also, Melissa was saying Berserker all day.
Oh, yeah.
So,
All right, so we have Tender Huff Gravelgrim, and he hates being called Tender. That's just kind of funny. All right. Now let's take a look at, all this other basic stuff that they're going to get. His hit points. So at 3rd level, 12 plus Constitution. 7 plus. All right, so we can do that. 7 plus con. So his con is 4. So at the beginning, he's going to have 16 plus 11. So he's going to have 38 hit points at 3rd level. That's really good.
Tender Huff the Cantankerous.
The Cantankerous. He's definitely going to be a cantankerous old dwarf if he lives so long that he never redeems himself. That may be a title that he gets later on. That would be hilarious. Rage, unarmored defense, light armor, medium armor, shields. And let's go to backgrounds, because that's going to be one of those things that we're definitely going to want to figure out with this particular character, is what backgrounds are they going to have? And for everybody following along, that starts on page 127. And let's get to it. So, we have Acolyte, Charlatan, Criminal. I don't think Criminal is going to be. Entertainer, no. Folk Hero? I don't think so. Like, instead of being infamous or being famous, they're infamous. Guild Artisan, don't think so. Hermit, maybe a hermit, because shunned and banished, maybe. Outlander, again banished in some capacity. Went to the woods because of just couldn't handle. And here's another thing: when this particular dwarf goes into a berserker rage, maybe it's just too silly, not a true rage, and comes flying in like this. And it's just like all the other dwarfs are like, you're the worst berserker ever.
Does he do that thing, the other dwarves, they just put their hand out on top of his head? And he's like...
Yeah. Because for dwarves, I feel like this one should be super short anyways. Stubbier arms than normal, but yeah. He's just the worst berserk ever. And for comic relief, that is the best. Could be soldier. So I'm kind of floating around soldier, outlander, or hermit. What are you all thinking?
Soldier, Outlander, Hermit. Those are the ones you want people to choose from?
Yeah, those are the 3 choices. I mean, we could look at some other resources. If anybody wants to suggest any other backgrounds that could be found in something else, like in Xanathar's or Volo's, the Sword Coast Adventures Guide. And yeah, we'll take a look at that. See if there's anything else in backgrounds in this that could be interesting. Yeah, they have City Watch, Clan Crafter, Cloistered, Scholar, Courtier, Faction Agent, Far Traveler, Inheritor, Knight of the Order, Mercenary Veteran, Urban Bounty Hunter, Uthgard Tribe Member, or Wateravian Noble. And none of those sound good.
Maybe he's cursed and thinks there's bees always flying around when he goes berserk. That's what Shane said.
And it's just a crazy...
Hermit. That's what Katie and
Shane both think hermit?
Shane both said.
Okay. That's a good background. Shunned from his clan. You lived in seclusion, either in a sheltered community such as a monastery or entirely alone, for a formative part of your life. In your time apart from the clamor of society, you found quiet, solitude, and perhaps some of the answers you were looking for. Why? Why was I cursed with this foolish berserker rage? So with the life of seclusion...
Yeah, Mad Zapper says hermit.
All right. Hey, Mad Zapper. Mad Zapper won the Beholder from yesterday's Painting Happy Little Minis.
Make sure they paint it.
Yes. You have to paint it and show it off so we can see it. All right, so Life of Seclusion, they have a D8 roll here. So we'll do that first. If it doesn't really fit, maybe we'll pick something else. So let's find out. A 3. Exiled for a crime I didn't commit. That's almost perfect.
Yeah. Oh, except so he didn't commit this crime. That's kind of cool. Because I was thinking he did commit a crime, but maybe this is interesting.
Let's say he didn't commit the crime, but he, in his attempt to thwart it, he made it worse.
Okay.
And they just kind of like were like, ah, you're the worst. And was exiled for it.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Have we figured out what the crime is?
Ooh, I mean, I feel like one of the most important things in dwarven society is the forge. Mm-hmm. Where they, bring on and do all the weapon building to sell the weapons or keep or hoard whatever they're going to do with it. And I feel like he did like one of the main forges in his clan was destroyed and he was blamed for it. Maybe not so much as a crime, but just as he's just the worst.
Shane says exile, but determined to clear his and his family's name and bring the true fire starter to justice. And Melissa says he bungled it so bad they let him succeed.
Yeah, you're privy to. I'm not privy to any of this. Privy to the crime, a part of.
And Corey says being framed for a crime is the best.
Yeah, I like that too. So, personality traits. We have another D8 roll, and we're going to pick 2 of these.
Happy.
What?
I said happy.
He's happy. 7. Often get lost in your own thoughts and contemplations, becoming oblivious to their surroundings.
That could work with he was so bad that they just blamed him as well for the crime, for the forge mishap that happened.
Yeah. Yeah, and let's say it was his family, within the dwarven community, each family has their own forge, and it was the Gravelgrim forge that was lost.
Right.
Yeah. So often gets lost in own thoughts and contemplations, and becoming oblivious to surroundings. That's pretty good.
The forge fire. That's what Shane said.
Yes. And secondary.
Happy.
5. Oblivious to etiquette and social expectations.
Okay.
So that would also go very well with their charisma. It's just like, whatever. Yeah, you guys eat with forks and spoons? Lame.
Because he has low charisma, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So oblivious to etiquette and social expectations.
This poor guy.
Yeah.
I feel a little bad for him.
It's kind of funny, though, if you think about it. Perhaps while standing guard over the forge during the incident, got so lost in their own thoughts and contemplations, became oblivious to the fact that it was getting torn asunder or whatever. And when he finally realized what was going on, went into berserker rage and just assisted in the destruction because he couldn't control his own mind, I guess.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So now we have ideals, and ideal is a D6, so we'll roll that. We're going to take one of those. A 5. Live and let live. Meddling the affairs of others only causes trouble. That's actually pretty interesting. I think one of his things might be where if there's a scenario, it's like I got involved in this and I mess everything up. So you do you, and I'll just stay away and leave it alone because maybe he's kind of like gun shy in that capacity.
Let's let the chat decide.
Yeah.
If they like it, put a thumbs up. Live and let live, right? For his
Yep.
ideal. Do we think that works?
There's also inquiry and curiosity are the pillars of progress. Emotions must not cloud our senses of what is right and true or our logical thinking. I don't think that would work with this one because he's a berserker, which is totally driven by emotion. Greater good, my gifts are meant to be shared with all, not used for my own benefit.
There you go.
I could just imagine him running into a fray with his arms like this, eyes closed. Ah! It's like, no, berserk. You're supposed to keep your eyes open.
We got some thumbs up on the let live, so
Okay.
yeah.
Whew. Live and let
live.
live. Okay. Okay, and then bonds. Ooh, another D6. And this should be interesting. 2. I entered seclusion to hide from the ones who might still be hunting me. I must someday confront them. We already know that they're
Wait,
exiled.
say it again? Sorry.
So this one's saying that they're also in their seclusion to hide from some people that are still hunting them, and they must someday confront them that are the hunters.
Yeah, I don't think that works.
Right.
Yeah, Bruce is saying no. I agree with that.
Nothing is more important than the other members of my hermitage, order, or association. The other ones just don't really fit. I entered seclusion to hide from the ones who might still be hunting me. I'm still seeking the enlightenment I pursued in my seclusion.
No.
I entered seclusion because I loved someone I could not have. Should my discovery come to light, it could bring ruin to the world. Maybe.
Yeah, maybe he saw something in the forge and...
My isolation gave me great insight into a great evil that only I can destroy.
Okay, I think that one could work.
You think so?
Because, so he's kind of forced to become a hermit, right? Essentially, because
Well, he's been
his
exiled because
clan
of
has exiled him.
Yeah, the clan has exiled him, and I think one of the things that could be interesting in that, if we go with isolation gave him great insight into a great evil that only they can destroy, could be that whatever the creature, being, or force that destroyed the forge or was the real cause of it is a true evil that got away.
Right.
And through his seclusion and self-contemplation and all that stuff, kind of has come to realize that there's more at play than just that one incident.
Yeah, Corey says, I like the insight one.
Okay.
I think that one fits the best,
Okay.
which I would agree with. Kind of as you said.
Which could be really interesting if, for role-playing purposes, that even though this individual isn't the smartest, isn't the most wise, isolation can definitely bring clarity to a lot of things, and the bond may even not be a figment of his imagination too, that he's just kind of thought on it so much that he's kind of bonded himself to this thought that it has to be more. It couldn't have just been this one thing. And
Right.
only he can destroy it and thus gain his honor back and be allowed to grow a beard again.
Gotcha. I think that works. For good old Huff.
Tender Huff. All right, only he can destroy. Now let's go with our flaws, or a flaw. Sometimes lots of flaws can be fun too. So let's see what we got. Here we go. 3, I am dogmatic in my thoughts and philosophies. Interesting. What do you guys think on that one? Dogmatic in my thoughts and philosophy. Driven by, I don't know. I mean, that could be a thing. That Huff is truly driven by their beliefs in their whatever religious order or dwarven gods that he may follow, and believes that everything happens for a reason, and that his seclusion happened for a reason, and that, you know, it's all very dogmatic in that sense that everything happens for a reason. The gods have purpose. They're the driving force behind all things. You know, that could be interesting. There's also, now that I've returned to the world, I enjoy its delights a little too much. I harbor dark, bloodthirsty thoughts that my isolation and meditation failed to quell.
Peter was saying the first one fits the obsessive belief about that evil that they, you know.
Yeah, that there's more beyond it, and that his God has put them on the path to fix it.
Yeah, Walter says that sounds real.
All right.
Shane said, I think he was watching the forge as it was sabotaged by enemies. Many lost their lives. He tried stopping the destruction and was burned, hence hairless. He's looking for a way to redeem himself and bring the fire starters to justice. The enemy is looking for him because he is the only witness. He rarely sleeps, and every time he closes his eyes, all he sees is fire.
That's kind of dark, Shane. Gosh.
That's cool, though.
It is. It's very cool. I am dogmatic in my thoughts and philosophy.
Yeah. Which, yeah, I like, kind of as Peter had said, it works with that evil.
Yeah.
Oh, Michael does ask, if no beard, is it really a dwarf?
He would argue that yes, but also no, because you know, a dwarf's standing is based on their beard sometimes. So he could, in his own words, be like, yeah, I'm no better than any other halfling out in the world. You know, he just kind of talks down on himself a lot, maybe self-degrading or degrading or whatever. How do you say that word? How do you say that word there, Leona? You know it.
Self-degrading?
Yeah, self-degrading.
He holds no secrets if no beard.
That's true. All right, so looking at the miniature, one of the other things we like to do too is kind of figure out, based on the attire that they have, maybe we give them something special. And he has a really sick helm and a really nice battle axe, and the big cloak is really nice too. So he has 3 standout-ish items. So what do you guys think? He's only 3rd level, so we can't give him anything like epic, but we can give him something a little helpful tool, if you will. He's a denigrating degenerate. So what do you guys think? Should we give him a special helm, a +1 battle axe, or some sort of magical cloak? And I'm going to look in the Dungeon Master Guide for some guidance in that arena.
He's wearing the cloak of shame.
Shame. So they have some pretty cool helms in here. Helm of Brilliance, that's too powerful. Helm of Comprehending Languages, nope. Helm of Telepathy, not, nuh-uh. And we're not going to do Helm of, no, Helm of Teleportation. That's all way too powerful, and not this guy. I kind of feel like the battle axe.
So no helm?
I mean, the helm is cool.
It's okay. Go ahead, say the battle axe.
I mean,
I like the helm.
I do.
No
like
one has
the
said
helm.
anything, but I like the helm.
The helm is cool.
I like the idea that it's made out of a certain animal. in that affects it. But it's okay. Do that, Battle Asks.
No, I'm just throwing out ideas. The thing in here is just
Maybe it's the last axe from the forge.
That's what I was thinking
Peter
too.
was saying.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. The Helm of Fear. Now that's actually pretty good too. That gives him saves versus fear. Yeah, that would be a good one. Or incites fear in his enemies. But I also like the axe could still be that. It could still be the last axe that was forged in that one, and he kind of took it with him. Not as a trophy. Maybe the clan thinks he took it as a trophy for his misdeeds, but as a reminder that no other weapons or no other items will be forged, and that this last item is going to help him redeem that.
There you go. Cloak of Eyes. No one can sneak up on him.
It does, that's actually pretty cool too. He's got these little like metallic ringlets around the back end here of the cloak, which could be those eyes.
Corey says, I like the Helm of Fear. It goes along with the whole dogmatic portion of his character, which does make sense. And Shane said, I was thinking the same thing, like Stormbreaker in Infinity War.
Yeah.
For the last forged axe.
Yeah. Helm versus Fear saves matches Obsession. His protection comes from certainty focused through Helm. I kind of feel like this guy walked out with some cool stuff. And it's like if we give him the Helm versus Fear gives him bonuses of bonuses.
Even though he was exiled, he was able to collect.
He hefted a few things.
He did.
He's like,
well, and I feel like the idea that no one knows that it's the last forged thing would make sense.
I'm going to call it the last axe of Gravelgrim. It doesn't necessarily have to be magical, but it gives him inspiration.
There you go. And then the helm could...
And the helm is Helm versus Fear. You'll just have bonuses versus being, instilled with fear from different creatures. So fear spells, stuff like that.
Sounds good.
Yeah. I almost feel like, how about this? The last axe of Gravelgrim is not magical. However, he does get a, where you have to roll 2d20 and
Je ne sais pas.
I'm having a little bit of a brain fart. Help me out here, guys and gals in the chat. What is it called?
When you roll what?
Yeah, it's not an axe of delayed blast fireball.
Hashtag nerds, thank you.
Hashtag nerds from Michael Caine.
Yes.
Michael Caine, who has the product terrain tokens. Come on, who's the nerd here? Yeah, so it allows you to roll 2d20 like on an inspiration once per session, once per game session. So you get that. Advantage. Thank you. I don't know why my brain was farting on that one.
What? Oh, that's all you were looking for?
Yeah, I was looking for the word advantage. Gives advantage once per session.
Oh, thank you, everyone. Because I really did not. I know that word. I know what you were trying to say. I just was like, maybe there's a special word. Nope.
Yeah, so it gives advantage once per session, and that's, again, it's not magic by any means. It just inspires Tender Huff to maybe hit a little straighter, a little truer by rolling advantage once per session, outside of any other opportunities of advantage that he may get. It's just like he can say, all right, I'm going to really focus. I'm not going to go berserk, and come at you like that. And then focuses and is able to hit you with it, which is kind of cool. Now let's take a look at what else we got here. As a barbarian, we also have to take into consideration all of the skills and stuff as well. So this particular barbarian, because has high constitution with an 18, I feel like a lot of the things could be athletics and survival might be this particular dwarf. I don't think intimidation by any means, because intimidation requires charisma, and this particular dwarf has not any of that. And so I think athletics, though strength, I wish there was more constitution.
Are you able to
skills.
roll for that?
So you just choose which ones you want. As a class feature, you get to choose 2 from either animal handling, athletics, intimidation, nature, perception, and survival.
Walter says we need a book with all these characters that you have.
Walter, you're
made.
killing me.
Killing me softly
Working on it.
with this. Yeah,
Actually, I'm working on it.
it'll happen.
Yep. So the two.
Athletics.
Yeah, I'm thinking athletics and survival, because his wisdom isn't horrible,
Oh yeah,
and he's been exiled
that makes sense.
as a hermit.
If he meets up with the party, it makes sense that he's like knows about surviving.
Yeah, I've survived the lands far and wide.
Now I have some friends. Or
Indeed.
maybe not.
Or maybe not. It's
Maybe
like,
he just
what?
meets up with the group and then leaves immediately.
And yeah, it was like, I don't like you. I'm going back to my.
I feel like
Words.
he would be a good like one-shot character where you like meet up with him and then he's gone because he's like, "Bye,
Yeah,
guys."
like a support character that shows up
Yeah.
very rarely.
Like he's not gonna travel with you, but
Let's see what else we got here for dwarves. They live about 350 years. The average dwarf. They're young.
are we
until-
saying that he's a young dwarf or?
I would say young-ish, like maybe 60 or 70 years old, because they don't really reach adulthood until they're 50, and they live to about 350 years.
Shane says hashtag Huff Life.
Huff life.
Huff Life, the video game.
Dark vision, dwarven resilience. They have a saving throws versus poison and have resistance against poison damage, which is cool. Dwarven combat training. Tool proficiency, stone cunning. Whenever you make an intelligence history check related to the origin of stonework, you are considered proficient in the history skill and double your proficiency bonus to the check instead of your normal proficiency bonus. He's not going to really use that very much, I'm thinking. Okay. So let me ask you guys this. It says it has dwarven traits, and then it has subrace, the hill and the mountain dwarf. I'm guessing that you pick one of those two, and those add to the other dwarven traits. I don't make a lot of dwarves in 5th edition, so if that's the case, I'm thinking that hill dwarf might be the better choice.
Benjamin has a comment. I think you get a free proficiency in either masonry or brewing. Which are you going to pick?
Ooh, I'd almost take masonry. Brewing, I don't know if this particular dwarf can handle its liquor, because he's just
I think he's weak.
the worst.
He's tender. That's why you got that name.
He's Tender Huff. Yeah, there's lots of reasons behind the name Tender Huff, and he might have a story for any occasion that kind of deals with that. So, so what do you think? Should he be of hill descent or mountain dwarf? Hill or mountain dwarf? I think masonry would be the one that I would
Masonry.
take. Yeah. I'm gonna write that down.
Hill or mountain dwarf? Mountain.
Yeah, we getting mountains.
Well, Steve says mountain. I also say mountain.
Because if we go with mountain dwarf, they're going to have a +2 to their strength, so he'll have a 15 strength instead of 13, which would be nice. And then dwarven armor training is another part to that. You have proficiency with light and medium armor. So I think that's not a bad idea.
Where is his clan name from?
Gravelgrim?
Melissa asks.
Well, they're one of the sub-clans to Clan Thunderforge, which are up in the mountains, so it would make sense. I'm just saying. Or maybe they were hill dwarves that were allowed to come into the mountains because their clan got wiped out or in the hills, and so they had to retreat to the mountains. I mean, there's options.
Is that a name that already existed, or is that from your head?
Oh no, I created. I have a character called Sledge Gravelgrim,
Oh.
and Sledge is a hero amongst the
Gotcha.
Gravelgrim clan. And I was thinking that Huff could be the the non-hero hero. You know, everybody has that one cousin, right?
Yes. Lee says it looks more like a mountain dwarf.
Okay.
I would agree with that.
Okay, mountain
So
dwarf.
mountain is my vote, says
Roger
Melissa.
that.
Which I agree with.
Okay.
Good thing y'all are on my side.
All right. So as a mountain dwarf, they're going to get a +2 to their strength, which makes Huff's strength a 15. So based on that, his stats aren't that bad.
No.
Granted, not the smartest and not the prettiest or most socially
Competent.
competent, but definitely a
Which makes sense for his backstory so much.
yeah. As a mountain dwarf, you're strong and hardy, accustomed to a difficult life in rugged terrain. You're probably on the tall side for a dwarf. Nope. And tend towards lighter coloration. The shield dwarves of Northern Faerun, as well as the ruling Hylar clan and the noble dwarf clan of Dragonlance, are mountain dwarves. Okay. And Clan Thunderforge is also mountain dwarves. So that makes sense. All right. Back to the barbarian real quick. To
Huff
see if
the
there's any-
barbarian.
Huff. Yeah, that's kind of funny. Huff the barbarian. 2 hand axes and a simple weapon, an explorer's pack, and 4 javelins are just some starting equipment. But he's 3rd level, so and has taken the path of the berserker. And he's got some really good stuff going on. I think, based on all that, as a rough laydown, I think we're pretty much there for this character. I'd just like to say, first off, thank you to Dave for painting this awesome miniature. This is a WizKids miniature, part of the Knowles line, which you can get at your local game store. If you don't know where that's at, go on the Googles, type in game store near me, and they'll pop up. Not GameStop, your hobby stores. The character design, obviously you guys did it, so thank you for joining us for building character today. This character is really awesome. You guys did a great job. His name is Tender Huff Gravelgrim. Tender as a title. He is a 3rd level mountain dwarf barbarian following the path of the berserker. Stats are 15 strength, 10 dex, 18 con, 8 intelligence, 10 wisdom, 8 charisma. They are seclusion was their background as through hermit. Exiled for a crime that they didn't commit. Their personality traits are oblivious to the etiquettes and social expectations, often get lost in their own thoughts and contemplations, pretty much oblivious to their surroundings at times.
Relatable.
Yup. Their ideals are live and let live. They had kind of follow a neutral path. I was thinking alignment for him would then be lawful neutral. A bonds. My isolation gave great insight into a great evil that only he can destroy. And the flaw is they're extremely dogmatic in their thoughts and philosophies. So they believe that their God is absolutely the reason for all the things that have happened and will happen in their life. So that, which is kind of an interesting twist on this character. His helm is a helm versus fear, which is kind of cool. And the axe that Huff carries with them is the last axe of Gravelgrim, which was the last axe forged in the forge that was destroyed due to his incompetence, and gives him advantage once per game session while using that axe in combat. And that's a pretty cool character, if you ask me.
There we go.
Yeah. So again, thank you all for joining us today, and stay tuned for all the other cool stuff coming out of Game Trade Media. If you don't already follow us, please do like us, subscribe, all those things on our social media platforms so you don't miss out on any other upcoming events that we have going on. Painting Happy Little Minis Tuesdays and Thursdays at 2, Building Character Fridays at 2, and
Rad.
Board Games and Beyond Fridays at 4-ish.
It's
So,
a rad time.
it's around that time, and we got a lot more stuff coming, so stay tuned. I'm Rick. This has been Building Character. I'll see you at the game store. Hey guys, we're super excited to share that our new book, The Overstreet Guide to Collecting Tabletop Games, is now available.
We love tabletop gaming as much as you do, and we're so thrilled to share the finished book with the community. This book covers the history of the tabletop industry, from classic board games like Monopoly to collectible card games like Magic, and of course RPGs like Dungeons and Dragons.
The book also highlights some of the top talent in the industry, featuring interviews with Peter Atkinson, Matthew Mercer, Larry Elmore, and many more. Plus, we chatted with collectors from all walks of life who shared their own knowledge and insight about tabletop collecting.
We also discuss everything from the impact of crowdfunding on the current state of the industry, as well as take a look at all sorts of ways to preserve your collection for years to come. This book provides a perfect snapshot of the tabletop industry at large and shows what makes this hobby so great.
You can head into your local game store or comic shop right now and pick up your copy of the Overstreet Guide to Collecting Tabletop Games. If they don't have it in stock, you can order your copy through previews, through Game Trade Magazine, or through gemstonepub.com.
Thanks for watching Building Character. If you liked it, leave a like and a comment below, and make sure to subscribe so you don't miss any new content.